Welcome to the dirt. I'm Gray. That's Nicole. It has been way too daggum long, but I don't know if y'all know this. We actually have jobs in the fall and winter that pull us around the country, and now we are
No.
finally gathering to pod again. Hi, Nicole. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Gray. How the heck are you?
I'm wonderful. I will preface this by saying folks, it's not like Nicole and I never talk. We did briefly have a few weeks ago, like a 45-minute catch up conversation while I went to go get pizza, which was really fun. But now we get to publicly talk about what has been going on the last 4 months or so.
A lot. But before we get started, because
Uh oh.
Christmas just did happen, what was your favorite Christmas gift?
New sheets.
New
Am I old?
sheets.
Am I old yet? I was so excited.
What makes them like so silky
I just needed new
or
sheets.
cotton? Oh, they're just normal sheets. You just needed them.
I just needed new sheets. It was time. It'd been a few years. It was time. And yeah, I asked for new sheets and a new golf bag, and I got both. So I'm hot to go. Let's rock
Hot
and
to
roll.
go. I got I have two. My first one was the Hatch alarm clock. I've been wanting one of those for so long.
What
My
is it?
roommate in college had it. So basically, it slowly lights up and it makes a little noise, and you can program what sound you want and what light you want on your phone. That way, you can plug your phone far away from your bed and you don't have to worry about it.
Ooh.
And you don't have to worry about the alarm going off. It's really
Okay.
nice. And it like simulates the sunrise, so it's like a circadian rhythm resetter kind of thing, and like the light turns on and it slowly gets brighter and brighter just like the sun would, and then the volume comes in like 15 minutes into the light being on. It's this whole thing. But then my second one is this mug that I got from a co-host. I opened this up and I was like, I had ordered a lot, granted, over the holiday season from Amazon. And so I was like, oh, another Amazon package. Like, I don't know an Amazon package that's like this square. I think my face actually kind of looks like this whenever I got it. And I was like, what is this? Um, but now it's my favorite mug.
I was so excited that our stretched out graphic, shout out to Sierra, fit
Sierra, you
perfectly on a
queen.
mug.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and there's only one of those in the world, and
Guess
you
what's in
have
the
it.
cup?
Coffee?
No, eggnog. I'm enjoying my last bit of the holiday season before it ends. Well, it's
Eggnog.
already ended, but I wait I wait 365 days for eggnog.
Really? You're pro eggnog.
I am pro eggnog. It tastes so good.
Interesting. Well, I've had it at parties late at night, but I've never had it
I've
like at
never had it at a party
3:50
late at night. Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Mm.
I don't know what it's like not mixed with something dark.
Ugh, delicious. Fantastic. But it's been so long since we've dirted that I have done a horrible job of keeping track of what I've been wanting to, but there's been so many times where I'm like, "Ooh, I gotta dirt that. Ooh, I wanna call Greg, can't, gotta dirt it, gotta keep it for the dirt," and then I'll just forget. I'm so excited to, like, get after it, so take us away.
Well, all right. So I'm gonna tease something a little bit later because I also dropped this prompt on Nicole right as we hopped on this call.
You said I dropped this, and in my head, I was like, "Album. You dropped a SoundCloud album over the holidays, and that's what you're
Perhaps
gonna
that will
tease."
be on my list. I don't know. We're gonna do the top 5 things we saw in 2024. Now, I understand that there is a year in review pod that is coming out on this same podcast network, and that is a softball related podcast, which is awesome. Shout out to Nicole and Sydney and Tara for their wonderful content. I would have been there too if not for a women's basketball game. This is not that. Softball can be on the list, but it does not have to be. It can be anything, anything that we loved in the year 2024 that we watched with our eyes.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, so that's coming up in a bit. I want to give
Oh, not yet. I
Nicole.
get more time to think about
I
it?
want to
Thank
give
you.
you a little
Thank
bit of
you. I
time.
appreciate that, yeah. I was like, "You can go first, and then I'll think about it later."
All right, I want to start though with this. Can you believe that we're basically a month away from softball season? We will begin
Yeah, I
softball related.
can.
Like it's kind of insane.
Just as I wait 365 days for eggnog, I wait not 365, but it feels like 365 days for softball season. So I'm just like so glad that it's around the corner. I've already started planning my trips. I started emailing coaches. I started emailing schools. My goal is to call a lot more SEC games this year. So if you're an SID of an SEC school and you get a lot of emails from me, I'm not really sorry. Please hire me. This is my formal last minute ditch here. So
I just want to say, can we go ahead and confirm your location on April 12th through the 14th? Like, is it locked up? Do we know where you're going to be?
it's like 88% locked up.
Okay. Don't you dare go scheduling other things that
If
weekend.
something happens and I have to go call a game somewhere else, I will. I don't want to, but if that call comes a knocking, work before play, baby. Work
All I
before
gotta say
play.
is the guest room is set up. We literally remodeled the home over the holidays. Everything is in new places. We're ready for a guest, and that guest is Nicole Mendes.
Sydney and I are ready to cuddle in that guest bedroom.
Oh,
We're pals. We've done travel in 2024. We're ready to do it again.
yeah. And look, we'll just rekindle the magic of the of the Knoxville Super Regional when we sat in that hotel room for about 3 hours cackling about nothing.
Oh, one of those unofficial dirt podcasts. I love it.
Yeah, there's a solid
Memories.
hour long voice memo on my phone that none of you will ever hear, ever.
I don't think I've ever reheard it.
I listened to it a few weeks ago and I was like, oh wow, okay, we went there.
Mhm.
Sydney's story about her run-in with a lady in her Austin hotel was prevalent,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah,
That one was crazy.
yeah. Do you have anything in
Mhm.
particular you want to dirt about before we dive into a little 2024 recap? I know you've got things percolating in that head of yours.
Always. Okay, so kind of I feel like every year in 2025, every year
3 days
I
in, but
try
okay.
to every year I try to come up with like a new kind of theme motto to go off for the year, and I try to narrow it down to one broad word. And so my word for 2025 is clarity. And I was curious, do you have a word for 2025?
Does a phrase work?
Yeah, a phrase works.
Hang on.
Hang on, baby. I think that might have been my unofficial motto for 2024. Because I was going back and I was thinking, and I was like, man, like, this isn't the top 5 things of 2024. This is simply like, let us go back in time. Like, imagine like a little dream cloud, like, "Woo," like the Princess Barbie music, right? We're back to January of 2024. Actually, we're in September of 2023. And I move in to this apartment complex. And the day after I move in, there is a cricket infestation in in Irving, Texas. And my apartment complex, I swear, was like the hub for everything. Like they were coming out of like our ground and then going to the rest of Irving, Texas. Like that's how I felt. Um, and then we fast forward to February, and there was a giant freeze. And then a couple weeks later, my dog passes away. And then a couple weeks later, there's a leak so loud. Did I ever show this on the dirt? There
I
is
don't
a
think so.
leak outside of my apartment building. Literally, like I step outside, I walk down the stairs on the second floor, and I look in the street and it's gone. And in its place is actually something even better than a road to drive in and out of. But instead of that, I actually have a river that is now flowing because a pipe had broke during the freeze and my apartment complex didn't do anything about it. And then 3 other leaks sprung up. And so I had this really, really unique natural spring that started to flow. They turned off the water. I was without water while season started. Called 24 games without water.
I remember this because this is when we met.
It was super, super fun. And then fast forward, I leave because I'm like, this is awful and you're not getting it fixed. And then you're trying to charge me for all the water that's been running. I don't think so. So I move, I leave. And then the family that I was staying with, family friends that I was staying with, they are also in Dallas. So that was very convenient. But then they too decide that they are moving from Dallas to Norman. And so now I pack up my life yet one more time and move into a trailer. And a couple weeks after moving into the trailer, there was this thunderstorm so severe that it literally shook my trailer. And I spent 3 hours of my life in my car because I was scared the trailer was going to trip over and I wouldn't be able to get out of the trailer. Trailer was decorated by my grandpa. Had the cutest curtains in the world. I think every video call I ever did, somebody made a comment.
The best curtains.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I have been trying to find in this new mess of Apple Photos, like how to find my video.
I appreciate like one thing about the Photos update and nothing else.
What do you appreciate?
The fact that you can like scrunch out and zoom out and it's
You
all...
could do that before.
Could you? Okay, then I
Yeah.
appreciate nothing. Whoops.
Okay, you ready?
Apple, you done messed up.
You done messed up. Okay. Here it is. There's that river. Have you never seen this?
No, you have not shown me this.
Oh
Is
my
this one of
gosh.
your daily walks?
This is my daily walk to check to see if there's that spring.
Ah.
But there's one where you can literally, I'm so far away and you can just hear the river, the stream just flowing. And I was like, I think it's time to move out. So then I go up to New York this summer, and then that was fantastic. Zero complaints about that, except I did get road rage. And I did confirm that New York is not for me, nor will it ever be. I get road rage.
I probably could have told you that. I couldn't see that for you.
Had to try, you know.
Sure.
And so then I continue on and I lose a roommate in September. And so I had to move back to Houston. And not only did I lose a roommate, I lost her a week before we were supposed to move in. After I had gone house hunting all week long. That was really fun. After I had moved everything from Houston up to Dallas just to move it back down again. That was really, really fun. And then fast forward to November, and I was attached and I'm no longer attached. And then
Attached to what?
I'm single, Gray. I am single.
You did not tell me that.
I didn't.
Wow, I did not know this.
Yeah, this is my grand announcement.
Wow, Mindy on the market.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Ish on the market.
We'll see how it goes.
It was a lengthy relationship, so I'm sure you weren't like the next week.
It was like
hitting the Wendy's, see who's there.
Officially 2 years, unofficially 3 years, you know, but we'll see how it goes, right?
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. This is the dirt. I'm giving it to you. And then
I appreciate your true save it for the pod nature about such a personal detail of your life.
Tara did offer for me to go. Actually, I asked her and then she offered to go up to California and meet somebody at a yacht club. So I do have that in my back pocket. We'll see how life turns out though.
Yeah, by the way, folks, this is the final episode of The Dirt because Nicole's about to get on a yacht and sail the world.
I'll call you from the 7 seas. But that was kind of my awful 2024. And then there's so many good things that happened. And I feel like I focused a lot on the bad things, not the good things. And so I was like, hey, let's gain some clarity on what life is really like here. And let's look at it from a neutral perspective. And so I feel like going into 2025, not only do I want clarity on like, hey, what is actually going on, what's what, but also like I want clarity on my finances. Like I'm gonna start budgeting. Like, that's a grown-up thing. Okay. Am I not still in college and I just live like, I don't know, off of $10 a week? Like, does that not happen? No, it doesn't. I actually have things to save for and things I want to do. So, budgeting, I want clarity of budgeting. I want clarity of future. I want clarity of so many different things. And so, I'm really, really excited. So that's why it's my word. Why is that your phrase?
Because in 2024, I felt like things happened so fast. Weekends would come and giant things would happen, and I wouldn't be expecting them. And I don't know. This year taught me the importance of finding your people and making sure that those people are bringing you happiness and joy. I felt like 2024 really solidified a lot of the great relationships that I have in my life, yourself included, Sydney included. Happy to have you on the list as dear friends in 2024. And it also just threw a lot of things that stressed me out more than I've ever been stressed out in my life. And I've had to kind of learn how to not be so hard on myself, how to really not, for lack of a better phrase, let the haters get me down or anything like that.
Period.
Or anything like that. I mean, anything that I feel like doesn't work with the plan that I have, because I'm a very meticulous, like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do it.
I couldn't tell by all the posters behind you. I couldn't tell that detail was your thing. So
yeah. So when things go wrong, I've got to learn how to adjust better, which I think is ironic because that's one of the things that I spent the most time criticizing the Alabama softball team for not doing in the regular season last year. And then here I am not doing it in my life.
So I feel like we're here, and then we just need to like merge and meld our talents, because I would love to get more organized. And I feel like I am very like go with the flow, like whatever happens, happens. Like I lived in a trailer and I was like, yeah, I lived in a trailer. Was I thrilled? No, but I went with it. First day is like detail, like it's hard for me. So we're just gonna like combine our strengths here on the dirt.
Yeah, and I'll say this, an area of personal growth that I'm looking for in 25 is, if I am not in charge, let it go. If I'm not the one that plans something, I probably don't need to provide my input. Just let it happen, let it go, be along for the ride in that respect. So you're exactly right.
You're a leaf in the river, just go with the flow.
Yeah, if I go on a trip with friends and I didn't plan it, then I'm gonna just say, yeah, cool, let's go. I'm not gonna raise a fuss. I need to be better about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is my 25. So
I love that.
When you and Sydney come to Tuscaloosa, I'll let y'all pick the itinerary, and I'll just be like, yep.
That's not fair because we've never been and we don't know where to go.
You know what we'll do? This is my favorite thing to do when people come in town. We'll play Wheel of Dinner.
Okay. Do you actually have a wheel?
No, I have a website that I go to. So everyone who's at the location, if it's more than 4 people, they give 2. If it's less than 4, if it's 4 or less, they give 3. We give 3 restaurants, and people will like do research. They'll like whip out the phones and be like,
I'm gonna like send out some tweets prior to coming down to Alabama to like get good recommendations in, because I'm not trying to waste my time going to a mediocre restaurant. I want to experience the best of the best or most iconic. That's the only way I will allow the food to be subpar.
I got you covered. But what happens is then all the restaurant selections are put on a wheel, and then you spin. And as opposed to any other wheel game where when it lands on something, that's the winner. That is the thing that is eliminated. So then it
Ooh.
is cut from the wheel, and it's like a
Sudden death.
10-minute process. It's so exciting. And you'll have people like cheering. Like I have seen people like, "Come on, Taco Mama!" Like, no, it's good stuff.
It's intense.
Yeah.
It's intense. All right. Well, I can't wait for that. So, kind of moving on through that topic then of 2024, words getting better, choosing, being more decisive if that's your thing, or if you're not planning it, kind of letting the wheel of dinner take over. But top 5 things of 2024.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first with your number
I
5?
do want you to go first.
All right. My number 5, this is, so there's a phrase, one for me, one for you, the collective you, the people. My number 5 is the one for me. It is the Ryan Williams touchdown catch against Georgia to win that football game, Alabama versus Georgia, because I have been to a lot of football games in my life. I went to Texas, Arizona State the other day as we record. I've seen a lot of amazing things. I don't think I have ever seen Bryant-Denny Stadium as juiced as it was going into that game and as jubilant as it was when that play happened, because collectively everybody after that first half was like, wow, this is the best half of football Alabama's ever played, ever. And I agreed. And then all of a sudden we were looking around with 2.5 minutes left and Georgia was winning inexplicably. And then that play just, man, the emotion, the relief, the excitement, it was a pretty unparalleled experience. And to get there, to get to be there at Club BDS and watch it, and that was my sports moment for this top 5. There were some hard cuts.
Setting the bar high with number 5.
Yeah,
are we
there
going
were hard cuts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or are we going your 5, my 5, your 4, my 4? How are we
Let's
doing
go
this?
with your 5.
Okay. I would say my number 5 moment of 2024 would have to be I think it would have to be whenever I moved into the trailer. As bad as it was, I had like some really nice like downtime there where I could just like think and just reset in a year that was like so crazy busy. I could count on one hand every single month how many times I was home. So it was really nice to just have like myself and like nothing else to do, nothing else to clean. Like I could just chill. It's kind of a silly 5, but that's my 5.
Your number 5 was doing nothing. I love it.
Doing nothing and not not feeling stressed out about doing nothing. Yeah, it was great. But like in the trailer specifically.
Specifically in the trailer.
Yeah.
As we all find ourselves one time or another.
One time or another, you find yourself in a trailer doing nothing, you know? That's just life.
Here's to 2025. My number 4 is the holding space interview from the Wicked press tour.
I have not seen the movie. I have not seen the holding space interview.
Are you serious?
This may be controversial, but like I'm not a huge Ariana Grande fan.
Okay.
So like I just like anything that she's in, like because I really wanted to see Wicked the musical, but like I just don't want to see her. So I find myself like not wanting to watch it.
So it is that deep.
Yeah, I just don't really like some of the stuff that she does. Like I don't love it. So I'm like, I don't really want to like support her.
Okay, I get it.
Like I don't listen to her music. I don't know. It's weird. It's bad. But I haven't seen the interview. So if you want to pull it up, I'll watch the interview.
I'll send it to you. It's just it's the weirdest 30-second clip I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there is so much going on, from Tracy, the interviewer, talking about how people are holding space with the lyrics to Defying Gravity, which every single person who's seen that video is like, what does holding space mean? To Ariana Grande like massaging Cynthia Erivo's finger while she weeps at the mere thought. It's just one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And so many jokes. At Thanksgiving with my cousins, in the softball group chat. We've been talking about holding space for weeks, and I've really enjoyed how much bizarre joy has come from that weird
Where is
30-second
this
video.
coming from? Oh, the interview.
Holding space.
I love it.
That's my number
My
4.
4 would be no, you're gonna love this. This was going off of the topic of bizarre. Going to Tennessee and tailgating and like interviewing all the parents of Tennessee and interviewing the parents of Alabama and just watching what happened. The absolute just surprise, bizarre comeback from Alabama. I was like, wow, like I was not expecting that. And it's always so fun whenever you're surprised with softball. So I will say that was my number 4. Like that entire weekend, just had a great time. Tennessee fans were great. Alabama fans, they were great. And then
Are
just
we gonna
softball,
shout
like
out Knoxbox?
just
Where's
being
the
surprised.
Knoxbox
Of
shout
course,
out?
yes. And we had so many karaoke nights. I'm not a karaoke singer, but like I'm the first one to be like, let's go to a karaoke bar and just like listen to everybody sing. Like so fun. Why wouldn't you? It's so fun. It's like going to a piano bar and listening to people like just riff away. Like have fun. Yeah, that's my 4. What's your 3?
I love it. My 3 is the Luke Combs and Tracy Chapman fast car performance at the Grammys. Yes. Again, top 5 things I saw in 2024. This is number 3 because watching the Grammys live, that was so cool to watch. Luke Combs, whose version of fast car is awesome, to watch him be in awe of this woman, Tracy Chapman, who'd written this song and performed this song so many years before. You could almost see on his face, like, oh my gosh, how am I doing this? As he's performing with her. It was one of my favorite things that I saw in 2024. Performance is excellent. I wish that they would record a duet together and put it out so I could listen to it in the car driving to Tucson or wherever
while
we're
you're
going.
driving a fast car somewhere on the road, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's all I have to do. It's like half of the 10-minute version of All Too Well. So just, 5 minutes, figure out the math, get me to Birmingham after listening 40 times or whatever. It's wonderful. It was just delightful. Just one of those things that
delightful.
Yeah, just made me so happy. So that's my number 3.
I love that. My 3 was this breakfast meal that I had in OKC during the World Series. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh. No, it's gone. But it was life-changing. It was so good. It is my number 3. Like genuinely, like I love that meal. Every time I'm in Oklahoma, I think about going there. There's an hour wait every single time, so I don't, but like I think about it all the time and it's like so great. I'm just like, I love it. So yeah, that breakfast meal that I got at this Latin restaurant in OKC, I will, in the comment section, I will find it and I'll put it there.
Please do, because this is information that I will need.
Oh my, like everybody should, 1, make a reservation, because if you don't, you're going to have a 2-hour plus wait.
Oh.
2, whenever you get there, let them know.
Let them know it's your birthday.
Happy birthday. Let them know that you're like waiting in person and you're not going to like wait in your car. I feel like it speeds it up. And then 3, with that restaurant, like literally come hungry. And like the more people, the better, because then like everybody just like orders something different and then you can try it, because like everything was like so good. Like so good. Yeah, that's my 3. Food, are we surprised? Cracks the top 3.
My number 2 is a meal as well. One of the best things I saw in 2024 was the food at Carbone Vino in Dallas, Texas on Christmas night.
You went to Carbone on Christmas?
Yeah.
Is that a family tradition?
No, we went because it was the only place open on Christmas night.
So y'all typically eat out on Christmas?
Typically, no. Typically, we're eating leftovers when we're at home, but we weren't at home. So we're
Oh,
at a
that's true. That's
hotel
true.
and
Yeah.
We went to Carbone Vino and Vino Carbone Vino. I get confused on because it's a restaurant where there are like two sides. Have you been there?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. And the pizza, incredible. The pasta, incredible. Wonderful drinks, just wonderful. Great bottle of
What a
wine.
raving review. Wow.
Oh,
Did you leave a Yelp review?
no, I should have. Consider this my Yelp review, people of
No, no,
Dallas.
that doesn't count. I have recently been convicted. I am a through and through
Convicted.
Yelper. I will religiously, like, if it's not good review on Yelp, I don't care who gives the recommendation. I don't want to eat there. It has to be good on Yelp. I trust
Interesting.
Yelp with my life. Like the reviews, I trust it so deeply. Um, but I have never given a single Yelp review. Never. And I take and I take and I never give. So
Hypocrite.
also I'm committing to leaving one Yelp review a month. I don't always leaving 12 Yelp reviews in a year. How about that?
We're going to check back in January of 2026 and see if you were successful.
You're gonna cut this clip of me vowing this, and then we're just gonna like have screenshots like boop, 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 boop,
I'm
boop,
going to be
popping up
on the
on the screen.
lookout. I'm going to be on
Yeah.
the lookout.
Can
But
you
yes,
follow people on Yelp?
maybe.
Uh,
That's my number two.
hmm My number two, I think, would be um man, went to Paris. It was beautiful. And like it was crazy to me how like the city is like a normal city size, but you could walk the city and it didn't feel weird or like you were gonna get run over by like a highway or something. It was very accessible. Um, but just I was like going for a run one day and I think I had like 6 miles to run. So I couldn't run in like a short circle. So I had to like run somewhere. So I'm just running and 3 miles I was gonna run back. So I'm running and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like here's this national monument. Oh my gosh, here's this national monument. Oh my gosh, here's this." And I'm just like as I'm running, I'm just seeing all these things that I've seen on like TV or movies or things like that. And I'm like in my head I was like, "Wow, it's real." Like I don't know what I was kind of thinking, but it was just beautiful. It was so so pretty and clean and the people were so nice. I thought they were going to be mean and it was going to be dirty. And it was so clean and people were so nice. So that was my 2, was Paris.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you get to go and see the Eiffel Tower and do that whole experience?
What do you mean the whole experience?
Like, don't you get to go up it? Isn't that a
I didn't
thing?
go up it. I'll be honest, I didn't want to. Um, I saw it and it was like pretty cool. And I was like, I did do that. You could see the rings behind me whenever I took the picture, and then behind the rings was the Eiffel Tower in the background. So it was kind of cool. Um, I really wish softball was in that Olympics. That would be really fun. But you know, LA. So there we go. At least we got it.
Before I get to my number one, are you gonna like give 28 a shot? You think? Do you think you're still gonna be playing? I know we
I
got some
don't
time.
know. I honestly feel like it's a year to year thing. And this is my thing is like it's so hard to plan that far in advance because like what you make as a professional softball player is like bread and crumbs. And I love softball, but there's other things that I found that I love just as much as playing that are still involved with the sport that pay me, enough to live.
That's fair.
And as I have like gotten older and I've done those things more and more as long as as well as continue to play professionally, those time demands on those other things have gotten higher. And so I feel like in the next few years, I'm going to have to like decide one way or another. So like I really don't know because it's 25, 28 still a couple years away. Like I have no idea. And then just my experience playing international wasn't it was great and it was awful all at the same time. So for me, I just like don't know if I want to do that again.
Hmm.
And I know there's a different coach now, but it's just like it's hard. It's hard to like remember how that was and go like, yeah, let's do it again.
Run it back.
It's a 50-50 chance that it's exactly the same or it's totally different. And yeah, I literally don't know. But I should probably decide like sometime soon. So I'll
Yeah, as
keep y'all
crazy as it
posted, I guess.
is, that is something that you probably have to think about now, even though it's 3 years away, because got to use all that time to get ready if you want to do it.
Well, also from playing with the Mexican national team for the Olympics, I'd been on the team for 4 years prior to that. And even then, like, I'm an American who has Mexican heritage.
Hmm.
And I got a lot of slack for that. I don't know Spanish. I got a lot of slack for that. And then there was this crazy rumor that the Mexican national team just like threw away our jerseys. And I got so many death threats and crazy things. Like I had lawyers reaching out asking if they wanted, I wanted them to represent me. Um, like the Mexican ESPN covered it. It was like a really big deal. And on top of that, it was just kind of like the crescendo of everything. Um, so yeah, it was just like a crazy time. There's a lot of lore there. So comment below if you want to hear the Mexican national story
We might have to
from
dive into that
Tokyo.
later. Ugh.
Yeah.
That'll be a whole separate dirt episode, honestly. We need to compile our notes and have everything prepared and possibly have lawyers standing by. Who's to say?
Yeah. Uh I'll I'll leave it. I'll leave it for the stain. I'll leave it for the stain.
Okay.
It's in my head. It's locked in.
I have my stand as well, but I still have to give. We have to
We
give
got
our
we got
number
to go to
one.
number 1.
All right, the best thing, the number one thing that I saw in 2024. Nicole, did you watch the show One Day on Netflix?
Give me like a description.
So it's about two people, played by Mbika Ma and Leo Woodall, and Mbika Ahmad and Leo Woodall, and it's about their interactions on one day every year across, I believe, 10 or 15 years. It was an Anne Hathaway movie based
Oh,
on a
I love
book.
the Anne Hathaway movie. I haven't seen the new one, but I did love the Anne Hathaway movie. I know exactly what you're
So
talking about.
the show is exceptional, absolutely exceptional.
Did you cry?
I did, of course,
How
multiple
many times?
times,
I was about to say how many times.
multiple times, and there were a lot of other things I considered for the top spot.
Okay. We listen and we don't judge. You would get that if you had TikTok, but you don't.
I
So,
don't.
sorry.
Although I did re-download it recently. But one day, I'm gonna pull up my Letterboxd review. You definitely don't have Letterboxd.
I don't even know what that is.
So it's a movie logging app where you basically, when you see a movie, you log that you've seen it. And I've seen a lot of movies. I won't say how many. Here is what I wrote about.
Are you going to weep rereading it?
No, maybe. This is
A moment of
super.
silence for Gray, please.
This is super potentially cheesy, but I don't care. This is what I was feeling at 2 a.m. when I finished the
It's
show.
giving.
Here it is. Beautifully written, stunningly shot, and incredibly well acted. Truly one of the best things Netflix has released in years. An absolute knockout. As I sit here on my couch, overcome with emotions, I think about the journey of this series and how it reflects all of our lives, how a day can change everything, how timing can mean the world, why people are important, why those relationships frame who we are, and how we don't even realize it until the moment when we do. What a stunning series of television.
That
It's
was
just,
you. That was giving Hallmark.
thank you.
It
I,
it was I could feel the emotion in your
well,
review.
I mean, just watching the show, you're like, wow, I've been in that, not that specific situation, but the random run in with somebody on the street and then you see them a year later, or maybe a friendship comes from that and stuff like it just, it showcased real life so well. And it was beautiful. So that's my number one thing that I saw in
Aw.
2024. I do have some honorable mentions. I'll list them in a minute, but Nicole, what's your number one?
It's like 1A and 1B.
Okay.
So 1A was getting to interview Coach Gasso after OU won their 4th back-to-back-to-back-to-back national championship, and just getting to interview her right after she's made history so many different times, but, like, this is, like, something that hasn't been done ever, and the last time a three-peat was done was so long ago, like, before Oklahoma, was so long ago, like, I just think this is something that's gonna stand for a while. Um, and then following that up later on this past fall, I got to go up to Oklahoma, and I got to sit down with Coach Gasso, and I got to interview her, and we talked for, like, 45 minutes about the mindset that she tries to carry as just a female coach, the mindset that she tries to portray into her players, the mindset that she hopes that her players have, what it takes to be where she's at, where she hopes to go, just about her and just like her journey. And it was fantastic. It was amazing. It was awesome. Um, and she was just so open. And there's a different relationship that you have whenever you're a player and a coach versus like I feel like our relationship has changed since I've graduated, and it was the first time that I've wondered some of these things as a player. I've wondered some of these things as a fan, as a commentator, and being able to sit down with her and just ask her those things and have her be so open and candid with her response was awesome. And then I think, like, to me, it meant the world after the interview. She was just like, "You ask really great questions." And that is something that I love to do, is just get people to feel so comfortable that they're like, "Wow, that's a really good question. I want to answer that." That's my entire goal. So I think that, to me, hearing that from a woman that I respect and I look up to, that was probably like one of the coolest, like, full circle moments, right? So yeah, that was like my 1A and 1B.
That's lovely.
It
For those
is.
that have not,
I'm
uh,
sentimental on this dirt. I don't know what's going on.
well, no, it's good because a year is done and now we're ready for 2025. And I will
Yeah,
also say, as someone who finally met Patty Gasso for the first time recently, I get it. She's a delight. I had a really good
she
time chatting with
is.
her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's incredible. You found out that she likes The Gladiator.
She is a huge Gladiator fan, but
We
as
watched
of
it.
November-ish, she had not seen Gladiator 2. I'm curious if that has changed.
I gotta shoot her a text, be like, "Hey,
Text her
update,
right
question
now.
mark?"
Let's answer the question here on the dirt. I'll give some honorable
We're in the
mentions while
dirt.
you do that.
All right.
All right, couple honorable mentions. I've got three to four. Hard for me not to put a movie on here because I'm such a gigantic movie person. I put a Netflix TV show, which is kind of blasphemy. But The Wild Robot or
You're like,
Challengers,
"Oops."
yeah, one of those probably would make this any other year if I didn't want to
Wait,
vary it up a little bit.
okay. I sent the text. Is there anything else you want me to ask her before I send it?
Should there be?
I don't know. I was just asking.
Just have you seen Gladiator 2?
Okay. I'll send it. Go ahead.
So either Challengers or The Wild Robot would be an honorable mention. I would also say Allison Habits' face when I asked the question about her coming back to Rhodes now as the head coach of Louisiana was one of the most heartfelt moments, I would say, this year,
Mhm.
because you could see how much it meant to her, even the concept of even coming back to Tuscaloosa, a place where she spent a good portion of her life as a coach, and now to come back as an opposing coach. To watch her reaction to that almost cracked the list. And then I wanted to include something Softball America. So I would say the Walton's World episode with Sue Inquist.
Mm.
Sitting in on that, helping to produce that. I'm sitting in the back. I've got my screen off. I'm just watching. And I felt like I learned so much. And
Yeah.
I told Coach Walton this, when Florida was here. I was like, Coach, these episodes that you're doing, I feel like I'm learning so much just about life, listening to Sue Inquist and Mike Andrea and Carol Hutchins and all these legends. But in particular, the Sue Inquist episode stuck out because she's such a positive and motivating person. And I understand why she was successful because when you're around that type of person, you feel the urge to be nothing but successful.
Yeah.
And I was so blown away by that show, and in particular that episode.
I had like moments in 2024 where I was like, life isn't real. Like this isn't real. There's no way this could happen. So I guess like some of those like life isn't real moments is I I got to just randomly got the call for Fox. Somebody dropped out last minute, and I got the call for OU Oklahoma State for Bedlam, and I got to call the first game. And like, what? Life isn't real. This is so crazy. Like this is what I dreamed to do. Um I got to take like a little solo trip, and I was hiking, and it was one of those nighttime things where you see the sky and it's just like unreal. And you're like, what? Like those are the stars. They look like that. It's crazy. Life isn't real. Um
What? Those are the stars is an amazing quote.
I had
What had you been consuming before you went
oh
on this walk?
probably eggnog. Um there was this one there was like this super random connection that I had with somebody that was like a friend of a friend, but we kind of knew each other. And I went on this retreat, and like somehow there was another person that was a friend of the friend of the friend. And so like it was this full circle moment, and it was just like, oh my gosh, you know this person, I grew up with them. And they're like, oh my gosh, like this was my friend too. So I was like, what? Like it just kind of reiterated like the world is so small. And if you look up every once in a while, and if you chat with people, like you'll find out how small it is. And that was really fun because that was somebody that like I probably wouldn't have met if I wasn't like being so intentional. And I never would have known like that connection if I wasn't being like intentional with it, being like, hey, like what's up? Who are you? What's your story? Like all that kind of stuff. Um, and then the last one, oh, no, I do this. I do this all the time. I like forget.
You had it
And
and then it left you.
it left me, and it was kind of like a crazy, like, "What?" Like, "Mer?" I have another one, though. This is an
Oh,
honorable mention.
all
I
right.
was driving from Dallas back down to Houston. This is after the whole roommate fiasco, so energy was a little higher then. Um, quickly plummeted, as you'll soon see why. Because I'm driving, and in front of me is like a massive, like if you've ever been to the South or Texas, you know, you have the massive trucks that are like lifted and all that kind of stuff. So I'm driving, and that car's in front of me. And we're going like 80, 85. Like we're in Texas. You're on that
Yeah,
45
aka the
stretch.
speed
Like,
limit in
yeah, like
Texas.
basically, like you're only going five over. Like it's not that big of a deal. Um, five over, right? Um, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden, I see, like, the truck kinda, like, rumble, like, and I see this orange cone shoot out at my car, hits my front bumper, and I'm like, "Oh, like, that was crazy. Whoa." I parked my car later, like, I didn't think anything happened. My front bumper was so dented, and, like, it, like, tore it, and, like, I had to replace my front bumper. From,
What?
like, a little cone being flown out from this 18 and I was like, "What? Like, that's not real, like, it's a cone, it's rubber." I don't know. It was kind of like life isn't real
You had to
moment.
replace it?
I had to replace it, messed up my entire front bumper. Like
Oh, jeez.
like, it crumpled my front bumper, that little rubber thing. But yeah, and I didn't even this is the worst part. So I finally get home, and I'm like talking with my dad, and like he's helping me grab some stuff out of my car. And as my dad always does, he always does just like does like I get anxious every time he does it. He does like a full circle around my car, and he's like hands on his hips, you know, like typical dad. And he's
Sure.
like, oh, do you see that scratch there? And I'm like, no, I didn't see the scratch there. I don't go to the back passenger side on the passenger side. Like, I'm not over there. I don't know. And it was so bad because he goes, "What happened to your bumper?" And I said, "What happened to my bumper?" And then I went and I was like, "I don't know." And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh shoot, I ran over a little cone. Maybe that's what it was." And that's what it was. And my dad was like, "Yeah, you gotta drive more careful." And I was just like,
As
so
dads are.
as dads are, yeah. Whenever he starts circling, I just get like so nervous and anxious. I'm like, what is he gonna find with my car that I messed up? He always comments on my rims.
Yes, I get that comment as well. It's like why
I'm glad it's not just
why are your
me.
wheels so dirty, Gray? Why are your wheels so
No, more
dirty?
like, why are your rims scratched up
Oh, that too.
from
It's always my back right.
like maybe on a curb or something. Like,
It's always the
oopsies.
back right. I don't know how it happens either. Honest to goodness, I never know.
Yeah, I
Except
don't
for that
know.
one time I did like genuinely rip a curb, but that's fine.
Okay. Way too early prediction. Who is going to be the shining star of preseason? Not conference, not champion of
Oh, we're talking
2025.
softball now.
We're talking softball.
Let me put on my.
I've been watching that softball.
I think it's going to be the SEC.
No, like one team.
Well, all right, but let
The
me
shining star of preseason.
let me
Where you
draw a
look
little
at them
parallel
and you
though.
go, "Oh shoot, this team's gonna win it all."
Let me draw a little parallel.
No,
No, I'm going to compare it to what men's basketball is doing right now.
no, one
All
team,
right,
Gray.
one team.
Tara tried to do this to me yesterday and told me I could only list one, and then she listed 5. And I was like, that's not fair. Only
It's
one.
cheating. Never
It
would have
is
stick.
cheating. One.
Well, now I don't want to say an SEC team. Now I want to think outside the box. If only I had a podcast with a similar name.
Boo.
I'm having a hard time coming up with an answer for this. I'll go with Duke. I kind
Shining
of
star
think,
preseason, huh?
yeah, because I think sentiment around the ACC as a full league is about as low as it's ever been before in any, like in all sports. Bowl season was a disaster. Men's basketball, they might get 3 bids,
So
maybe.
you did kind of tie that back in, huh?
Well, a little bit.
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah,
A
yeah.
little bit, but like I think that there's going to be a little bit of pressure on the spring sports in the ACC to kind of deliver because they've always been pretty good at baseball. And Florida State, this is the year they go to the World Series and the every other year phenomenon. And Duke just made it to the World Series for the first time ever. And I think that Duke will be able to, if not necessarily replicate the success of last year, at least be pretty close. And I think that conversation will ramp up when they have a solid non-conference performance.
Mm-hmm. This is, I don't know why. There's like zero reasoning. I haven't like done enough basis study on this, but I'm just gonna throw out. We'll go one East Coast, one West Coast.
So you're
Since
saying
you got to
two.
elaborate, I get to elaborate.
Okay. Come on,
East
Tara.
Coast, I'm gonna go Georgia because I feel like they always do pretty well in preseason.
Interesting. It's a young
And
team.
bats. I think their bats are gonna look good. And then West Coast, I'm gonna go UCLA. I think they're gonna look really good preseason. And then I think it'll be like, and then I think they'll do what UCLA always does, and they'll kind of up, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you think
Yeah.
wins the SEC this year? I'll say this. I have a
Texas or
very distinct
ahead.
formula, and I have tinkered with it about 6 times and come up with different results every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still torn. It is not 100%, but I think we're on the same page. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Well, it's either Texas or Florida for me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And it changes every week.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to say Tennessee, but I don't think they're consistent enough and they're tough enough just from watching them last year. Like they just
The
don't have.
the schedule's too hard. They having to go to OU and Texas. It would be very hard to win the conference with the schedule that Tennessee
Yeah,
has.
true. Who has the easiest schedule?
Well, Georgia doesn't play Florida, Texas, or Oklahoma.
My God, Georgia's going to win the SEC.
Whoa. Tenny, my boy.
I mean, come on. What kind of
Nicole's
schedule
calling her
is
shot
that?
now. The Georgia Bulldogs are winning the SEC in
I guess I'm a
2025.
Bulldog fan. Like, where did that come from?
Are you about to bark at
I
children
called
on the
them the
street?
preseason favorite. And then now I'm like, I guess they're gonna win the conference. Like, do they go on and win a national championship? Probably not. I won't. I can't.
They lost
justify
like
that
8
one.
seniors.
But like I said, I can't justify that one, Gray. Give me a second. Yeah.
All right, is it time?
It's time.
The stain.
The smear.
What's your stain, Nicole?
Let me go first because I'll forget.
All right, hurry. Hurry.
Okay. I remembered my stain. So, have you ever heard the phrase, like, whenever you, like, girl boss too close to the sun and, like, you get burned?
Yes, minus the girl boss part. I've just heard if you fly too close to the sun, you'll get burned.
Girl boss too close to the sun.
Oh, no.
So, last year I became a runner, and I guess 2 years ago now I became a runner, ran the New York City Marathon, went to New York City Marathon.
Very proud of you for that, by the way.
Thank you. Went to New York this past year to cheer on at the New York Marathon. That was a lot of fun. And then my old teammate had convinced me to sign up for a half marathon in California. And that morning I'm scrolling on my phone and I see this runner influencer. She's like, why do you guys run? Like, why do you run? And I was just like feeling like so inspired, like we're about to go run, like a little nervous. And I'm like, why do I run? And I like write this like on like a truthful answer of like I feel like my voices are like loud. And as I run, like everything works itself out. And I just feel like at rest and calm. And it gives me like that energy to go on and do whatever. Right. So I write this like very thoughtful thing and I like comment on her Instagram, close my phone, run my half marathon. And it's in LA and there are hills. We are by the mountains. Okay. It's like actually like west of LA, east of LA. Sorry, my geography, my math. And we're running and we're like literally in a state park. Like people have their RVs and they're like cheering outside their RVs as we like run by for a half marathon. I was not ready for it. One, two, I didn't train for hills. And if you don't train for hills, you die basically. And there's this long tunnel that we're running in. And we knew because our sister had run this half that there was one more really, really big hill. So we're running down the long tunnel. We get to this big hill and I'm like going up and like, you know, in movies, whenever they show somebody running and they're like, and then it zooms out and then there's like somebody walking right past them and they're like walking faster than the person's running.
Yeah.
I'm trying with all my might, my heart and my soul, to run up this hill. Cause as soon as we get out, all I see is like straight, like this is probably the angle of the hill. And then this is me like here at the tunnel and I'm like, like trying to run up. Painful. And my teammate, Taylor Snow, she's like doing great. And I was really honestly so appreciative that she didn't leave me. She's like, think about all the hard you've gone through this year. Like, this hill, like conquer it. I'm like, and like halfway up, I'm like, I gotta walk. And I'm like walking and I'm like walking up this hill still. I'm like halfway up and I'm like wheezing, breathing heavily. Long story short, I get through this half marathon. I finish in a time that I didn't think that I was going to finish in, mainly because she was so supportive, mainly because I was delusional. and I didn't know where I was going. So I was like, just keep going straight. We get back to her house and I'm like, man, her parents are asking me like, hey, how was it? And I'm like, great. Like, I don't think I'm going to run again for a long time. Like all this stuff. And I whip out my phone, tap on Instagram. Turns out that was a giveaway that I had responded to, that I had poured this like love letter of running, this heartfelt thing to running into this Instagram comment. And I got a DM notifying me that I had won an entry into the LA Marathon in 2025. And so I realized then and there that I had girl bossed a little too close to the sun. So all that being said, don't just say things, don't do things if you're not fully ready to commit to it, because it's all hee hee ha ha until the time comes and then you win an entry into the LA Marathon and you weren't planning on running anymore, but now you actually have to run another 26.2 miles in 3 months. And that's my saying.
In April?
In April.
Is it April 12th through the 14th?
No, it's not. I checked.
Okay.
Actually, it might be. I don't know.
That one, no. Wait, what is it? The Los Angeles
What if I
Marathon?
leave a day early? The LA Marathon. What is the LA Marathon?
We're Googling in real time.
It's in March.
Okay, March 16th, 2025. 71 days. Wow. Well, congratulations, and also I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. So, rock on.
Wow.
What's your stain?
Oh, Nicole.
Oh, Gray.
I am going to get on my soapbox for a minute, and this is probably something I've said on this program before. I'm going to say it again.
I'll act like it's the first time.
Yeah. Hey, teams, college sports teams, let us cover your team. All right. I don't get it. I've done a lot of games this year, so I'm not going to specify which program, but don't decline coach calls and opportunities to talk about your program to the people that are going to be talking about your program on television, whether it be linear or digital. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me, because
not a lick.
We're going to say what you tell us about your team. If you do not tell us anything, then what we will say is what we see. If your team doesn't play well, then that will be the analysis that comes across, because that is what we are seeing, and we have nothing else to talk about. And also, I don't get this from a women's sports perspective, because our whole thing on this pod, anytime I do a women's broadcast, I know you're the same way, Nicole, we're trying to help promote the sport too, to help grow the sport. It is impossible to do that for a program that will not give you anything, will not take part in the broadcast whatsoever, will pass on interviews and say your cameras are too close to our huddle. What? They don't pick up sound. What do you mean? No one. I don't get it. You're not helping, and you're frankly not special, teams out there, because I know a lot of top 10 teams and top 10 coaches. I've got a couple examples from various levels.
Like, wait. Cover your mouth. And you're going to beep these out? Tell me what the teams are.
No, I'll wait later. We got to complain about that once in a comment.
What?
Somebody complained about that. When I teased the Oklahoma schedule, they were like, how dare he beep that? I was like,
beep it out. Beep it out. Beep it out.
Don't let the haters get you down. 2025.
Don't let the haters get you down. 2020 thrive.
Oh, that's good. I'll tell you after. But because that's not the point. The point isn't calling out the schools. The point is calling out the system, because there are universities that do this with a lot of their teams. They're super paranoid. We're not out to get you. We are out as media people to tell the story of your team and your program, to find out about the inner workings of your roster and what makes this player special. And if you don't give us answers, then there's nothing that we can do to help promote your program and
Let
your
me
school.
help you.
Yeah, we're all on the same team here. So don't act like we're trying to get you, because all it does is piss people off. Honestly, I was very put off when this has happened. I've been very put off by this thing happening. It makes me not want to work with that school again.
Wow.
And it makes it hard to talk about them. So yeah, it's annoying. That's my stain.
Do you like need to take a lap to cool down? Like, do you need to take off your jacket? Like,
All I gotta do is walk outside at this
you
point.
got
We're getting
hot.
we're getting to that point of winter where
How cold is it?
it's like 40, I think, outside. We got that possible snowstorm coming in a few days. So who's to say?
Who's to say? Yeah, it's 70 in Houston.
Are you serious?
That is one thing that I have missed so much is Houston weather. Like, it doesn't get cold here. I love that. I don't like the cold. I don't want the cold. The cold and I are not friends. Keep it warm.
I like 65 degrees.
No, 75 is perfect.
I like wearing Q-zips. I can't really do that in 75. I can get away with that in
T-shirt and
60.
shorts. I
Oh,
wouldn't
well.
feel comfortable in a tank top and shorts.
No one will ever publicly see me in a t-shirt. So
Why not?
because I wear polos. I wear collared shirts. That's my whole thing.
You're a Kappa Kappa.
So, all right, so let me tell you a quick story before we wrap this up. So the other day I had a basketball game. I get back, I'm so tired. I just like sit in bed for a little bit, and then I take a shower and I'm like, I'm really hungry. I'll just throw on some sweatpants and a sweatshirt and run to Panera and pick something up, get some soup, and just like watch a movie. Oh, I was so excited. What a great evening for Gray. And I go to Panera and there's this guy that I know that's there. And he walks up, he's like, "Oh, what's up, big dog?" And he looks at me and he goes, "What are you wearing?" I said, "Oh yeah, I just threw some stuff on to come pick up food." And he was like, "I've never seen you not in a collared shirt before." I've known this guy for at least 4 years. At least. We've hung out multiple times, many times over the years. And that was his first thought. He was like, "Wow, look at you in sweatpants." I wear sweatpants all the time at home, but when I go out, I'm in a collared shirt.
Are you like the Zoomer that wears a collared shirt and then sweatpants on bottom?
No.
No? Oh, I've done that. I've worn like a really cute shirt and then like PJs on bottom.
No, as soon as I saw my dad do that a couple years ago, I was like, all right, that's it. Nope.
He gave you the ick?
Yeah. It was not. And he'd buttoned all the way up
Ew.
top. He did the top button thing that is so gross in collared shirts. Like this is not a look, people.
You look like you work in tech sales right now. Like if you were like, "Hello, how may I help you? How may I direct your call today?" Like that kind of fits.
Oh, I can't breathe. So I guess. Oh my gosh, it's stuck. Help. Okay. Right. We're good.
Wow, we did the dirt after so long.
I
cannot wait for 2025. There's going to be so much dirt going on. Like, there's going to be so much to chat about. Wow.
If there are any coaches or anybody out there who want to hop on the dirt too, y'all are more than welcome.
Honestly, that would be so much fun.
Because we
I'm
know
curious.
the drama is rolling already, people. Preseason drama is rolling.
What's the dirt?
I think next episode is definitely going to be the Mexican national team story from Nicole. You ready for that? Are you ready to share that?
You gotta like strap in for this. Oh, this was awesome. My stain.
You have another one?
I do.
Okay.
This is like the double wipe here. So
okay. That's not what that is, but
I was
okay.
scrolling through my phone and I'm on Instagram. And you remember, so on Instagram, there's this option here that says requests.
What?
So I click to request and it has all requests, right? And see how there's only one request there?
Sure.
I go through, delete message. I go through and I'm like, oh, no messages. I have no DM requests. And then one day I see this little toggle up here, right here.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, huh, I wonder what that is. Let me click on all requests. Well, then it's like top requests. And I'm like, well, what's that? My top request, I did not know was something different than all requests. And what I found out was actually that there's a lot of messages that I did not see.
Saying what?
Going all the way back to 2019. And I just now found them. And this is me, oops. This is me going from the very bottom to the very top.
What was the most important message in there?
I still haven't finished going through them. There's so many.
Mm.
I only go through a couple a day because I don't want to get overwhelmed. But I feel weird because I'm also at the point where I'm like, do I reply? Be like, thanks. Like there's like my neighbor,
sorry, I
my
missed
old
this.
neighbor from college behind us. They're like, hey, it's your neighbor, like behind y'all, like congrats on winning a national championship. That was in 2021. And I was like, thanks. And they're like, that was a while ago. And I was like, yeah. But I feel like T-Pain, where he found his message requests. And like T-Pain didn't know that that was the thing. And I always thought T-Pain was so silly. I was like, silly T-Pain, like obviously like you click on your messages. And I didn't realize there was an all messages and top messages. Why isn't all my messages and all messages? Why is it only in top messages? Instagram, what are you doing? I don't understand what that means. I don't understand. Like it just, I got crazy heated whenever I saw that because I was like, I don't understand if it says all messages. Why are you not putting all of them there?
I'm trying to find where that is for me.
Let me see. Go ahead and put your phone up to the
All
screen.
right, so I went to so here DMs and
Right.
then requests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then hidden requests, yeah.
No, that's different. So
Oh,
go back to requests.
okay.
Those are your requests.
No, those are my straight DMs.
Go to requests.
Okay. You can see the people I'm DMing. Sorry. Sorry to my father, Kaylee Tao, and Sydney Supley.
I was about to say I didn't see who you were DMing.
Okay. So we got these.
What's that little blue thing?
Decide who
Blue.
can message you.
Do you not have a top requests?
No.
All requests. Hmm.
And then I have hidden requests, which are basically
Those are like not good ones.
yeah, not appropriate.
But I did find out as I was sorting through, I basically have 4 different categories of DMs. I have DMs from companies right after I graduated that wanted to offer me partnerships and money and contracts, and I just didn't see that. I have DMs from creepy old men, most of the time with either their daughter or their whole entire family. And no, we're not putting
put the
balloons
balloons
for that.
away. Put the balloons away for the creepy old men.
That have pictures of their daughter or their family in their profile picture. So that's always like, what's going on here? I have the random like football players and the DMs requests. And then I have the little girls who are like, oh my gosh, like this is so awesome. Like da da da. That's me. And I'm like,
The partnerships
I
one
left
is tough.
thousands of dollars on the table.
That's really unfortunate. I am so upset about that for you.
Yeah. Next week we're also gonna we're gonna cut this part out, but next week we're gonna have to talk about the NCAA, gosh, the
Oh, the
compensation.
eligibility stuff.
No, the compensation.
Oh, the House case. Because I'll also tease this.
We'll talk about it next week.
You saw that they're considering 5 years of eligibility now
For
all college athletes.
I did not see that, but I did see that a lot of football players are getting like 50 plus. And I haven't looked at mine, but some of my teammates at Oklahoma have looked at theirs and they're only getting like $3,000. And then there's like some girls that have only gotten like $100. And I'm like, good to know that a football player who's like kind of a starter, kind of not, is getting like 50 plus grand. But you know, won 2 national championships and you're worth this. So glad to know even beyond college athletics is super fair.
That'll be next time on The Dirt. This has been The Dirt. That's Nicole. I'm Gray. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. We'll catch you next time.
See you next time, folks.
Hey, Emmy coming.
We're rusty.